And that has been the 2017-2018 year. One last show for you here on 302 Sports Weekly. Benny Pinella, Pat Garanis, Nick Alessandrini, and Jason Winchell. Welcome you to the final edition of 302 Sports Weekly for the high school sports season as we send the kids into the summer and welcome a brand new year in the fall. We have so many people to thank. We have so much to get to on today's show. It's going to be an awards show.
We have the 302 Sports Fan Choice Awards.
We got the People's Choice Awards.
That's it. That's what we're
coming your
calling
way. We got a lot in today's show. Of course, we want to thank Gary and Nick for Hooters. They allow us to have this show here every single week. The staff here as well. Courtney, Heaven, Jacqueline. They have been doing such a great job with us here at Hooters in Newcastle, 136 the Astro Shopping Center. And it's the Fans Choice Award, Pat. We're not going to get slimed, are we?
Maybe a little Slime Time live action going on, throwing it back to the 90s Nickelodeon days. Never visited those studios, always wanted to. But we're going to get the second best thing in the world right here at 302 Sports
Not to get
Weekly
sidetracked, those studios nowadays are shockingly different.
It looks like Dunder Mifflin right now.
Yeah, it looks very stock. But
it does. But, you know, Benny, You're exactly right. It's going to be awesome. We're going to review teams and players of each season of the season. So team of the fall, team of the winter, team of the spring. King of the North, anything you name it, we're going to do it right here. But before we get into that, let's thank who we should really thank, and that's you guys, the viewers, the fans, the parents, the kids, the athletes. You guys are the ones that make this thing go around. You're the ones that make this thing possible, right? We can't make every game. We can't get all the stats. We can't come into contact with everybody, and you guys help us out with that. And we want to thank you for your participation. That you guys help us out throughout the year. So thanks to you guys.
And speaking about the participation we've got in wrapping up the year, we want to ask you, the fans, or we asked you, the fans, to help pick some of the best players and teams from the past season. Yeah. We have those categories. We will break those down. As we've saw on Twitter, coming up in a little bit. Before we get to that, though, we want to, of course, welcome Nick Alessandrini and Jason Winchell to the set. Mike Lang not here. It's unfortunate he couldn't be here for the final show, but Mike has been such an integral part of 302 Sports. Jason has as well, really, Nick Halliday, Benny Mitchell, Nick Hall, Leonard Evans. You talk about Nick Alessandrini, obviously everyone here on the set.
Yeah.
Vinny Pinella as well has been such a big part of 302 Sports.
Yeah, and, the ghost that is Vinny Pinella.
Yeah, the ghost. Not the goat, the ghost. But he's having fun over at the Italian Festival. But, of course, we just talk about the participation we've received this season. One of my favorite moments was, of course, the Smyrna softball situation we had. They were reacting there. And that's just such a big sign of what you, the viewers and fans, have brought forth to the table here for 302 Sports. And also our special guests, being able to speak with some of the most amazing people we've gotten to speak with. And let's go through that right now. Some of our personal favorite guests we've had on the show. We'll go around the room. We'll start with you, Pat, go to Nick and Jason in accordance.
Yeah, someone that's near and dear to my heart that I don't have on my list just because it's too obvious is the Muscle Movement Foundation with Rob DeMacy and those guys. They came on twice. First to tell his story with his battle with myasthenia gravis and whatnot, and then again with the 5K. So I wanted to give him a shout out for that. Thanks for coming on and being a part of this. And it's just great that whole story and everything. And Benny, I know you're close with that as well. I'm sure you'll tell when you get your chance. But I wanted to start with the very first guest that we had. Right, very first guy that said, you know what, I believe in 302 Sports Weekly. I want to be on the show. That's Tyler Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Hill, former baseball player at DMA, and now plays in the Boston Red Sox organization with their Class A affiliate. The kid came on. I thought it was I know it wasn't your first interview, but it was my first interview. Right, it was the show's first interview, and he was nothing but professional about it. Came on and really talked about the importance of his time here in Delaware growing up and everybody that helped him out through it and how that's helped him get to the professional level that he's at right now. And also
he had that big old ring,
big old championship ring he had. Also gave the advice to the kids on to achieve something, not giving up on their dreams. So I thought he was a very appropriate first guest, and I really enjoyed his time. Secondly, guy who's made it to the elite level, that top level at that sport, local guy Chad Cool, right, playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates right now, and he's having quite a season.
Oh yeah.
One of the top pitchers in the NL. He's all over the place. You see him all around Twitter and whatnot. He's having a really great year. very similar to the interview with Tyler, just kind of explained how important it was, growing up in here and how it's helped him. Also talked about the draft process a little bit and coming up through the ranks and now being in a major league ballpark. Also was one of the only guys, he repped the 302 gear. He's got the hoodie and whatnot. So, best of luck to him throughout the rest of the year. I really enjoyed his time here. And then last but not least, one of the most unique stories we had, because it was the only one of its topic, was Coach Dave Batafarano of Del Castle Baseball that we had on the special show at Frawley Stadium. Nick, you were with me for that one. Came on, talked about the throwback uniforms of Brown Technical High School that was Del Castle before Del Castle. Had like 50-some former students of that school, ranging from the ages of 65 to 90, all on the field for that game at Frawley Stadium. So I thought that was a really interesting interview, and I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, for me, Benny, it's tough to pick your three favorite because we've had so many great people on. I'm sure that's been the same, obviously, for everyone sitting up here. For me, I'm going to go with the ones that stood out the most, and one of them that definitely stood out to me was Kyron Davis that we had on a few months ago. He was fighting on the Wilder card at the Barclays Center, and that was a real cool thing to have him come on and talk about. And then he gave a real speech to the people out there, and how to work hard and to get.
It was from the heart.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of saying it. It was right from the heart. It was great to listen to, very motivational. And then next, I'm going to go with Quadri Henderson, who we had back before the NFL draft. Went to AI, then went on to play football at the University of Pittsburgh, and then went on to get signed as an undrafted free agent by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he'll be playing. Look out for him this year. And then Kyle Hinton, the University of Delaware pitcher we had on just 2 weeks ago. He ended up getting drafted by the Royals in the MLB draft, and it was great to have him up here talk about his season. And then at that time, we weren't really sure, if he was going to decide to come back or go in the draft. He decided to go in the draft, and now he's with the Royals. So that was really cool to see all that unfold and talk to those guys.
For me, it's the Conrad girls basketball team. After they won their first state championship, the fact that they all came on, they all were, very excited about the things that they brought to that school. A very young team, but talented. So look for them to be back. Second, Wilmington University lacrosse and baseball. I know they were on separate shows this spring, but two very good programs. The Wilmington lacrosse program just starting up in its first year, and to see how successful that team was and where they're living out their dream was great for me. And then third, the Diamond State Classic. What a great tournament that is for the girls over the holidays. All the goes to charity, the Be Positive Foundation. The referees work for free. And it's just a great story. And you also have the best teams in the nation come in and year out. A very well tournament. It was good to have John Gretchen and Kelly on talking about the Diamond State.
It's always fun to have John on, a very unique man he is. The Diamond State Classic. He is awesome. Of course, going through our top guests, Muscle Movement Foundation. I've grown to have a close bond with Rob and his plight through myasthenia gravis, and it's just such an amazing movement is the Muscle Movement Foundation. The Conrad Girls Championship team, it was fun to have the entire basketball team on the set. Of course, Chad Kuhl playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, watching him be successful. Kyron Davis, how cool is it to have a professional boxer achieve the level that Davis has and fight on a Barclays card and come from Delaware?
Yeah, well, like Nick A was talking about, everything he said you believed. He was not putting on a front by any means. And it's interesting talking to boxers, the mindset. They're just different types of people, extreme confidence in themselves, and they don't back down from any challenge. I thought that it can be intimidating somewhat.
It can be.
But I enjoyed having him on for sure.
It certainly can be intimidating talking to a boxer. Of course, Quadri Henderson, now Pittsburgh Steelers. It was fun to talk to a future NFL player. Yep. We'll see him on Sundays. Kyle Hinton with the Kansas City Royals. We'll see him down the road, hopefully in a couple of months, maybe. Playing for the Wilmington Blue Rocks when he gets ready with them. Diamond State Class again, John, it's always a privilege to talk to him. Slam dunk to the beach, which is always really special to see some of the top prospects that you'll see in the NBA in a couple of years.
Yeah, we had Dr. Robinson on for that one, talking about the slam dunk and run by the Delaware Sports Commission. That's a great event. Very similar to the Diamond State Classic, like you talked about. Elite teams coming to the state of Delaware, playing just on the boys side. Looking forward to it again next year down in Rehoboth Beach.
Speaking of which, when we talk about some of those big players, we know Mo Bamba has played there a few years back.
Could be the biggest name since the reincorporation of the slam dunk to the beach to get drafted. He could be a top 5 pick coming up. He's got all the talk about with him. Of course, he went to the West Town School. He could be the first, since the reincarnation, top 5 pick to come from that. Yeah. And there's going to be more down the line coming.
Oh, there's going to be plenty coming down the line. Of course, Goldie Beacom, basketball and baseball. You saw we covered Goldie Beacom basketball. What an amazing team they were. Wilmington lacrosse, baseball, and basketball. 3 teams from Wilmington. I love that rivalry, Goldie Beacom and Wilmington. It's a very unique rivalry. They're literally right next to each other when you think about it.
And that's something that we at 302 can highlight, and that's part of it. We want to see the Delaware kids be in Delaware, right? So when they get to Wilmington University, they get to Goldie Beacom, it just makes it so much better for us. And also, those 2 schools are coming up, man. They're competing in that conference in every sport, so it was great to have them on.
And they are on the up and up, of course. Caravel basketball, boys and girls. It was fun to have those 2 teams on. Ursuline girls basketball, what a season they had. Of course, talk about some of the success from football in terms of high school. You got to talk about Smyrna and Coach Judy. We were happy to have him on. St. Elizabeth boys basketball.
The champs.
The champs.
The champs right there. First state championship of school history, very similar to Conrad
you got to call
girls
that game,
basketball
with
game.
me as well, yeah.
Yep, we called that game down at the Bob Carpenter Center, and that team just persevered. They were a team that they were slept on. They were the true sleeper. Nobody expected them to get that done as a 9 seed to come out there and win the state championship. I thought that was really cool guest to have on, and appreciate those guys coming on as well as all of our guys.
Played a flawless game to win the championship. Nothing but net. Was happy to talk to those guys.
Yep.
One Journey, which is a really unique movement. We did those guys fairly recently.
Yeah.
And then of course you talk about football. What a year it was for Hodgson to kind of be an under-the-radar team to have the season they had.
Yeah, they bumped up to D1.
And the first year in Division I, and to have the success that they did this year just speaks volume of that program.
You guys got anything to say about any of those guests that we kind of listed? You got anything that kind of stands out to you guys so much?
All great guests. They all gave us a different message.
What I like about the guests is the variety. I mean, it really is a show where you can get everything in terms of Delaware sports, and really all of these guests all have a certain message. Talk from Kyron Davis down, there's all a message there, and that is whether or not you think highly of this state, this is a very important state. We've seen a turnaround in Delaware sports, the face of Delaware, and just those names. I mean, Delaware has a lot to offer to everyone around the country in terms of the world of sports.
Yeah, and everyone was also just such a pleasure to deal with. Just everyone coming in, here, everyone was here on time, just so eager to get started, and just everyone was great, and all year long.
So there you are, and of course those were our guests. Now it's time to get to the hardware. Handing it out after the break, we have the Fall Girls Team of the Year. We'll be talking about that.
It's time to put on the tuxedos, Benny. Get in the penguin suit.
I forgot my tie.
No, you didn't. He's lying, ladies and gents. You'll see after the break.
It's right off the set. We'll be back.
Create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today.
You'll see.
Welcome back to 302. You will see the winners of the Fall Girl Team of the Year. Benny Pinella, Pat Garanes, Nick Alessandrini, Jason Winchell. The Fall Girls Team of the Year.
Yeah.
And our nominees, Pat.
We're going to try not to Steve Harvey this one. But here we go. The 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Girls Team of the Fall. The nominees are Ursuline Volleyball with a record of 13-2 in the regular season, 4-0 in the state tournament, including a 5-set win over undefeated Padua in the championship match. Play the music. Delmar Field Hockey at 15-0, completing the undefeated regular season, and a 6-3 win over eventual Division I champ Cape Henlopen, and a 3-0 in the Division II field hockey tournament record, including a 3-2 victory over Tower Hill in the championship game. And our third nominee is the Cape Field Hockey team, who finished the year 13-2 in the regular season and a 3-0 field hockey tournament record with a 1-0 victory over Sussex Tech in the championship game. Those are the 302 Sports Fan Choice Awards for Girls Team of the Fall.
And let's quickly have a brief conversation about each team. But Jason, looking at the Ursuline, start with Ursuline Volleyball. An amazing season, of course, winning the state championship, getting an absolutely obliterating Padua in the championship. Your comments on Ursuline?
Yeah, and Ursuline lost to Padua twice. That's their 2 losses in the regular season. They lost twice to Padua, one in 4 sets, the other one in 5 sets. Padua was a deeper team than Ursuline, you would think. Ursuline said, not so fast come tournament time. And they did a great job and took the victory over Padua. The girls were excited. It was a great win for them. And a relatively young team at Ursuline. They lose a couple seniors that are key players, but for the most part, most of them will be back next year. So a team to reckon with in the future.
Jay, I like channeling your inner Lee Corso right there with the not so fast, my friend. I really do appreciate that. And then the other 2 teams, I got to talk a little bit about Delmar Field Hockey and Cape Henlopen Field Hockey. I mean, both of those teams, usually your usual suspects in that sport, having dominant seasons yet again.
And I think we're talking about Delmar Field. Anytime you can go undefeated in a season, you can call that a successful season. So I was going to say, go ahead, Jay.
That you can.
Yeah, and Cape Henlopen had a great year. They lost to Delmar, but this year was the first year that they had 2 divisions in field hockey. So they both were able to win championships and a great turnaround for Cape Henlopen, who went into the tournament as not the number 1 seed, which was a shocker, but they proved at the end that they were the team to beat in field hockey.
So that's, of course, the nominees: Ursuline Volleyball, Delmar Field Hockey, and Cape Henlopen Field Hockey, who, Nick Allison Dream, Twitter Nick, was our winner.
Well, everyone, your winner of the 302 Sports Fall Girls Team of the Year is...
Oh, you opened the envelope.
Delmar Field Hockey.
Ooh, wow. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to Delmar Field Hockey.
495 votes on Twitter. Thank you, everybody, for getting involved.
And that was where they won 34% of the votes, so congratulations to Delmar Field Hockey.
How about that? You will get your 302 Sports Fan Award if we make them.
There you go. We'll pass out the hardware there.
That
was our Fall Girls Team of the Year. Moving over to the boys, got to do Salesianum Soccer justice, as they're one of our nominees, Pat.
Yes, the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Boys Team of the Fall are Salesianum Soccer, 14-1 in regular season, only loss to the nation's number 1 team, St. Benedict's Prep, 3-1 in that game. They went undefeated 3-0 in the state tournament, outscoring their opponents by an impressive 12-2 difference in that one. They beat Apo 2-1 in the state championship match. Our second team would be the Caravel Soccer team, 10-4-1 record in the regular season. They had a dominant state tournament, going 3-0 and not giving up a goal in that one the whole tournament. They knocked out the defending champs Tower Hill in the quarterfinals before knocking out top seed St. Andrews in the semifinals on their way to a championship. And then third team, Smyrna Football. All right, the usual suspects there. 8-2 in the regular season. After starting off 0-2 to start the year off, they beat unbeaten Middletown in the state championship game 30-27 to avenge a 35-28 loss in week 1 of the season. And our final team, Delmar Football, 9-1 in the regular season, and it was seeded 8th in the Division II state tournament. That shows you how competitive it was there to be 9-1, and you just barely squeak into the playoffs. They beat top-seeded DMA 34-13 in the first round, and then defeated second-seeded AI DuPont. Hate to say this, Nick Hall, 56-21 in the semifinals before beating Milford 14-7 in the state championship game. Those are the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award nominees for fall or boys team of the fall.
There you go, Pat Guarini's announcing them. And let's get to the winners there, Nick. We had 4 nominees. Who takes home the hardware?
Well, Benny, your winner for the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Boys Team of the Fall is Delmar Football, 34%.
Close vote.
Delmar's got the first 2 awards.
Close
That's
vote.
wow.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Delmar.
Delmar winning the first 2 awards, but like you said, very close.
Yes.
The next team was 30%, so 34% win for Delmar, and then the second place team finished with 30%. So both teams right there for that award. Smyrna football team finishing second for that award.
Benny Mitchell, take it with pride down below the canal. Delmar right there with the victories. That's it. Downstate proud.
So Delmar takes home the first 2 awards for fall. Let's see if they can make it 3 in a row because they have 1 nominee for Female Athlete of the Year for the fall.
All right. The 302 Sports Fan Choice Award nominees for Girls Athlete of the Fall are Emily Jerome, Padua Volleyball, the State Player of the Year, 2nd straight season for that, plus gets the Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Delaware. Finished with, get this, 383 kills, but the more impressive number, 1,166 kills for her career. She had 245 digs this year, 43 aces, and 34 blocks. Led Padua to an 18-1 record, undefeated throughout the regular season, and a trip to the state championship match. She will be playing at Towson University next year. Emily Jerome. Next up, Peyton Kemp, Delmar Field Hockey. She had a fantastic season leading the Wildcats to an undefeated season and a Division II state championship. Peyton Kemp, Delmar Field Hockey's nominee number 2. And then Sam Davis of Ursuline Volleyball, the glue behind the state championship Raiders, was first team All-State, 28 digs in the championship match alone versus Padua, and will be taking her talents down to Main Street at University of Delaware starting in the fall. So those are your nominees for the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Girl Athlete of the Fall.
Jason, I find it hard to believe that there is any way you can upend the Gatorade Player of the Year. But do you think it's possible? Do you think Peyton Kemp or Sam Davis have a chance here?
I always think anyone has a chance, but like you
But
said,
Emily Jerome was the
So you're saying there's a chance?
there's a chance. But let me tell you, Emily Jerome
is the Gatorade Player of the Year.
And look at those numbers. I mean,
Yeah.
fantastic numbers.
Oh, she'd be an amazing Fortnite player. All those kills.
Yeah. And she goes to.
We'll let that one get
she's going to be going to Towson. So I mean, that's going to be that would be my favorite, but it'll be
We'll have to
interesting
see.
to see.
We
We'll
do
be
have the
interested to
total here. 691 votes. Again, another great turnout from you guys voting at home. So
We'll
let's
go
go
over
right here. Twitter Nick.
Twitter Nick
We have
for
the
the
results.
results.
Let's see what we got.
All right, and your winner of the 302 Sports Fall Female Athlete of the Year is... Wow, let me say this. This is the closest finish I may have ever seen at such a highly staked award ceremony.
Ooh.
And that is... And your winner is Peyton Kemp with 40% and the upset. Over to you, Benny.
How about that? 40%. And in second place, Emily Jerome at 39. 1% difference.
What the fans are saying is they got it wrong with the Gatorade Player of the Year.
Well, 2 different sports.
Yeah.
2 different sports, Benny.
Saying.
2 different sports.
Saying.
There's one for every sport. Just saying.
And I
And
want
she
to...
was Gatorade Player of the Year too.
There it is.
There you go. And then I just want to say, I mean, this really can give us some insight into how, I want to say how well that the Delmar students do on social media and their fan base. They're very
love that.
active on social media. They're killing the Twitter game right now. They got three awards so far.
That's incredible. Down south, more love for Benny Mitchell and the guys down south there. They're killing this award
Yeah.
show right now.
So from girls to boys, there's no way for Delmar to win this one because no Delmar player is nominated.
Yeah.
But
Well, if we,
Was there
if
a
we-
write-in nominee?
Yeah, if we just said just playoff performances,
Yeah.
they might have one.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later with Benny
we'll
Mitchell.
talk about that later. But the Fall Boy Athlete of the Year, some interesting nominees there, Pat.
Yeah, the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Fall Boys Athlete of the Year nominees are Will Knight, Smyrna Football, became the all-time leading rusher in the state of Delaware this season. Had a great senior year, including a 300-plus yard performance and 4 touchdowns. Week 1 in our 302 Sports Spotlight Game of the Week against Middletown. Will Knight, Smyrna football. Moving on, Bryce Wallace, Salesianum soccer, played his best games against the nation's best teams. Scored big goal in the championship game to lead Salesianum to yet another state championship. Karan Aline, DMA football, Mr. Everything, the jackknife, so to speak, for DMA. Great junior year, some spectacular plays, and an exciting kickoff and punt return. One against Hodson that was very memorable, almost won them that game against a very tough Hodson team, Karan Aline. And then Zach Giloff, Cape soccer, not baseball, soccer, was our 302 Sports Player of the Week 3 times this fall and scored 29 goals this season, dual athlete, getting the job done. Those are your 302 Sports Fan Choice Awards nominees for Boys Athlete of the Fall.
It would be interesting to see if Zach Geloff can win 2 of these awards.
Yeah, he could be up for baseball later on.
He'll be up for baseball later on, but let's go to Twitter, Nick, for the results before we head to break.
514 votes for this one. Once again, killing the game out there, you followers of 302 Sports.
And your winner for the 302 Sports Male Athlete of the Fall is Will Knight, football, Smyrna.
Shocker. Shocker, Ben. Shocker.
Yeah.
Not
A
really.
little bit of surprise.
Will Knight has been a very well-decorated player within his football and within just the state in general. So, shout out to him, taking home some more hardware here from us here at 302 Sports.
Those are our fall winners. And of course, we're going to hit the break, change the season up, go to the winter. 2 nominees for Girls Team of the Year. Which one won? That's coming up after 302 Sports when we hit the break.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Well, when things got cold, these teams got hot. It's time for our Winter Girls Team of the Year.
This
Here
is
on
why they
302
call you the
Sports.
GOAT,
That's
Ben.
why I'm the GOAT. We're going to get to our nominees right now. I mistakenly said 2. There are 3 nominees for Girls Team of the Year for the winter. Pat, let's go through those nominees.
So winter is coming. The nominees for the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Girls Team of the Winter are Conrad Basketball, 17-3 record in the regular season against a tough national and in-state schedule. Went 4-0 in the postseason and got a little redemption on St. Elizabeth, who was the only in-state team to beat them in the regular season. Then went on to defeat the defending champs Ursuline in the semis and get by Carabel 49-46 in overtime of the girls' championship game back in February, I believe it was. And then we go to talk about Newark Charter Swimming. Had a fantastic year, 10-1 record in the regular season and captured their first ever state championship in swimming. And then Padua Winter Track, another dominating indoor track season for the Pandas as they won the state championship. So talk a little bit about these teams, Jay. 3 really good teams here. This was a tough choice for Twitter.
Yeah, it definitely was. Padua won another state championship in winter track. I think it was like 7 of the last 8. They've been really dominating in that sport. Conrad basketball team, a young team. Not many people expected them to compete with Ursuline, Carabel, and Sanford.
Like almost the story of the year, yeah.
and for the fact that they came out and then got into the playoffs and got hot and beat a tough road. Pat said St. Elizabeth's, Ursuline, and Caravel. That's a tough road to the championship. And Newark Charter Swimming, winning the first ever state championship since that school's been open. Great performance for them. They were not the favorites. Wilmington Charter was going in. Wilmington Charter beat Newark Charter in the regular season, and the swimming performance in that state championship meet by those Newark Charter swimmers was incredible.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's going to be hard to think the team, as I said, the story of the year was Conrad's basketball team. Do you think there's a chance that maybe one of these other teams, Pat and Nick, could upend Conrad at all?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think so. There's all these teams that are nominated, have done so well this year and have accomplished so much. There's always a chance, but Conrad has that extra. They have that presence of being on the show, and they're real fan favorites. So we'll have to see, but everybody's got a shot here for sure.
We're about to find out right here. 358 total votes once again. Nice turnout by you guys, the fans on Twitter. So let's see what we got, Nick. What we got?
And your winner for the 302 Sports winner female team of the year is Conrad basketball.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. A little over 50% of the vote, 52% winning that one. Thanks, Nick, for that. But yeah, hey, congratulations to Coach. They call him Coach K. They like that nickname, Coach Galasia.
Well, they certainly were the story of the year. Moving on to the boys' side of things, quite the story there for some of these nominees as we get into those, Pat.
Let's do it. The 302 Sports Fan Choice Award nominees for boys' team of the winter are my alma mater, the St. Elizabeth boys basketball program, 14-6 in regular season, get the 9th seeded in the tournament. They went 5-0, perfect 5-0 in the state tournament, including a 60-49 win over third seeded Smyrna in the championship game. 9 straight wins for the Vikings as they win their first ever boys state basketball championship. Number 2, Caesar Rodney Wrestling. Benny Mitchell knows all about them. 10-2 in the regular season within dual meets, and beat 2 teams that beat them in the regular season while in the state tournament. Beat Sally's in the semis and Smyrna in the finals to capture their state championship. Salesiana Swimming. The Sals won another swimming championship. 10-2 in the regular season. 2 losses coming against out-of-state competition. The Sals continue to dominate that sport. And Milford Wrestling, 11-5 in the regular season, doing dual meets, went 3-0 in the state tournament, duels, and Division II, including beating the top-seeded Laurel in the finals. Impressive stuff there for those teams.
Yeah, a lot of great stories there. Of course, talking about St. Elizabeth's, again, it's kind of a similar situation to what we have with the women's team of the year, Nick, where the underranked Vikings of St. Elizabeth's come in and just kind of tear the house down in the tournament.
Yeah, and that was real exciting to watch. And you guys did the state championship game. I got to do a couple of games in the playoffs when they were playing, and it was crazy to see a 9 seed come in and just play such great basketball in that tournament all the way through, and to beat such a good team like Smyrna in the championship. And I know Pat was really loving it the whole time. So.
Well, that was the thing, dude. I mean, they didn't have that wow player on that team. They just played the game the right way, and teams beat stars, right? If you have a good team, you're going to beat stars, especially at this level, and that's what happened.
You know what made that team successful? First of all, they had the top 8 seeds get a bye, so St. Elizabeth had to play 5 games on the road to that championship. But the reason they were so successful is defense, Pat. Defense wins championships, and their team defense was the best I've seen in a few years in the state tournament level.
Matchup zone, man.
And the matchup zone was the difference, and that's what made them so successful come tournament time. And like you said, they got hot at the right time. They won their last 4 regular season games and then all 5 in the state tournament.
Yeah.
So a good run for that team.
They say defense wins you championships, but can defense win you the Winter Boys Team of the Year, Mr. Twitter Nick?
Let's find out. And the winner of the 302 Sports Male Team of the Winter is the St. Elizabeth Vikings basketball team.
Certainly can.
There it is, absolutely. 332 votes by you, the fans out there in the Twitter sphere. So thanks once again for that there, Benny.
Yep, now we move on to Winter Girls Athlete of the Year. 4 nominees here, and quite the names there with some of these legendary basketball players that will be stand the testament of time in girls basketball in the state of Delaware. The
302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Girls Athlete of the Winter nominees are Julie Kaleja, Conrad basketball, named Gatorade Player of the Year. I believe it is a sophomore, correct? Only a sophomore. It's incredible. Led the Red Wolves to their first ever state championship and was the leader on the floor, even though, like we said, a sophomore, leading that young team against that tough schedule. Maggie Conley of Ursuline basketball, named Player of the Year by the coaches and the DSBA. Switched to point guard, new role, and did it all for the shorthanded Raiders after losing Alicia Lewis going into this year. She'll be competing for a starting spot at Princeton University, also getting it done in the classroom starting next season. Lauren Park of Sanford basketball, junior, had an outstanding season, leading the Warriors to a 7-3 record this regular season. Was a great playmaker who could drive and score when she wasn't dishing out all the assists. And then Berniah Ward of St. Elizabeth, the sophomore transfer, led the Vikings to a great year and saw them have four new starters from last year's team. Had a game-winning shot in their upset of top-ranked Conrad in the regular season, 55-53. And you might see that a little bit later in our top 10 plays of the year. Keep an eye out for that.
So it's interesting. This is an interesting story we have, Jason, and we'll go to you with this one. We have the Gatorade Player of the Year going up against the Player of the Year, named by the coaches and DSBA. This could be a little more split than what we think.
Absolutely. Two very good players. One is senior, like Pat said, going to go to Princeton next year and compete for a starting job. Princeton went to the NCAA Women's Tournament this year as the Ivy League representative. Very good team. For the fact that she's competing for a starting job up there tells you what kind of player she is. And then you got the sophomore, Julie Kaleja, who had a fantastic year, led that young team on that Cinderella ride to the championship. A great player, does everything for that team. She's already scored 1,000 points in her career, and she's only a sophomore.
It's incredible.
So she's got 2 more years to increase that total. So this is going to be an interesting vote.
And of course, we have I don't want to forget about Lauren Park and Berniah Ward.
Different styles of games.
Different styles
Both
of games.
those guys quick. And you can't forget about them. We were talking. This list has so much talent on it from this season. Like watching those 4 girls play this year was a lot of fun. And I mean, any 4 of them could get the award. They were so good this season. And like you said, Maggie, the only one that won't be back next year. So all 3 of the other girls will be back. So we get to see them again for another year.
Yeah, high school girls basketball in Delaware on the come up. But right now, we're going to find who is the winner of Winter Female Athlete of the Year.
Here we go.
And your winner of the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Winter Athlete of the Year, female, is Julie Kaleja, Conrad basketball.
How about that? It's a close one, Benny. 353 votes for this one. Between Kaleja and Conley, 43-37 in that one. Very close vote.
Yeah, close vote on that, but again, the Gatorade Player of the Year trumping an odd decision to go Gatorade Player of the Year and then Player of the Year by the coaches. It kind of shows you a little bit, maybe a disconnect, so to speak, right there. We're going to move on to Boys Athlete of the Year. Before we wrap this up, the winner section, we have 4 phenomenal talents there from all different sports. We have, of course, basketball with 3 representatives, and then a wrestling representative that we've had on the show before.
That's it. The nominees for the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Boys Athlete of the Winter are Caleb Matthews of Smyrna Basketball, Player of the Year. Had a great year for the Eagles. Has been there, done that for a couple of years now. Could shoot from anywhere and had the court vision to find his teammates. Nashawn Bones Highland. Hope you're doing well in recovery, bud. St. George's Tech Basketball. Bones led the Hawks offense all season despite being double-teamed in most games. Had 2 straight games where he dropped 50-plus. I mean, you haven't seen that in the state in a long time. Then, like you talked about, the wrestler, Tony Wiest of Smyrna Wrestling, was a guest on one of our shows after an incredible 4 years at Smyrna. Recorded over 100 pins in his career and won another individual championship this year. One of the most decorated wrestlers in the state's history. And last but not least, Ian Robertson, the Cape basketball player, led the Vikings to an 18-2 regular season and always seemed to be close to a double-double every game as his team went into the tournament as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, when you look at some of those players, you obviously have to start with Can't Miss Caleb, who was the Player of the Year. Of course, we saw what happened in the state championship, losing that. But interesting that he is right there, neck and neck with some of these other very talented basketball players, Nick, for our player of the year here at 302 Sports.
Oh yeah, and it was a lot of fun to watch Caleb play this year. He was hitting shots from the parking lot. It seemed like every game. Me and Jay did a lot of Smyrna games in the conference and whatnot, and he was spectacular. Real fun to watch. To see him come off screens, get the ball back, and just knock down threes with that quick release. It was a lot of fun.
So here we go. Let's go, Twitter Nick. Who is our boys' Winter Athlete of the Year?
And the winner of the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Winter Athlete of the Year is Caleb Matthews, Smyrna basketball.
Yep. He beats out Nashawn Bones Highland and Tony Weist in second and third right there. Pretty good vote. Caleb Matthews, 38% of that. 279 votes for that one, Benny.
We're going to take a brief break, the briefest of breaks. One and done. We'll be right back to talk spring and wrap up the show here on 302 Sports.
30 seconds, Len. 30 seconds, folks.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Well, winter gets warmer. We spring into the summer. Well, before we do that, we have to talk about the spring. Girls Team of the Year. 4 girls teams of the year to talk about here, Pat.
Let's move right into the nominees for Spring Girls Team of the Year. Smyrna softball, 17-1 in the regular season, followed by a perfect 4-0 record in the state tournament, captured its first softball championship since 1993. Cape Henlopen lacrosse, 10th straight championship, with a win over the undefeated St. Mark's team in the championship game. 14-1 in the regular season, 3-0 in the state tournament. DMA soccer, 12-2-1 in the regular season, 3-0 in a tournament. Beat top-seeded Tower Hill 1-0 in double overtime to capture the school's first Division II soccer championship. Padua Soccer, our last nominee, 14-1 in the regular season. They lost to a team from Virginia, 3-0 in the state tournament, 2-0 win over Middletown in the semis. Middletown, of course, defeated Padua last season in the state championship game. They then defeated CR 5-1 in the state tournament in that championship game.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have Smyrna softball. The story there was they felt slighted by us at 302 Sports. Could they go from being outside the top 10 on our rankings to winning the state title to winning Spring Team of the Year, Nick?
I mean, that's kind of the road they're on right now, Benny. They're already 2-0, looking to complete that 3-0 sweep with that 302 Sports Fan Choice Award. We'll have to wait and see how it played out, but very, what's the word I'm saying, emotional fans and very passionate fans on their end, so thank you to them.
660 votes for this one, Nick. Who was the champion and our Girls Spring Team of the Year?
And the winner for Girls Spring Team of the Year is Smyrna softball.
Here we
But that
go.
36% of the vote, Jay. This team was impressive throughout the year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They came from nowhere, like at the beginning of the year, and took home the championship. Their only loss was to Indian River in a 10-inning game. So impressive season for Smyrna and a well-deserved 302 Sports Award.
Well, as things continue to get warmer, these teams remain cool. It's the boys' team of the year here. 4 nominees. It's interesting. 4 nominees, 4 different sports, Pat.
That's it. Let's get right into these. The nominees for boys' team of the spring are Cape Henlopen baseball, 15-3 in the regular season, 4-0 in the tournament, winning its first baseball championship. They beat Dover in 10 innings, one of the best semifinals games that we've ever seen, and they beat Carroll 5-3 in the championship game. Then we move on to Salesian lacrosse. I mean, we know what they bring to the table. 13-2 regular season. They beat the 17th team in the nation, had the toughest regular season schedule in the nation by lax power, and went 4-0 in the tournament, defeating CR 14-9 in that championship game. And then Cesar Rodney Tennis, 15-0 in the regular season, another state championship, 6th in 8 years by that powerhouse program in the sport of tennis. And last but not least, Dover Track won its second straight championship in 3 years, or second championship in 3 years, getting past last year's champion Salesianum in a big-time victory, 121-90.
588 votes on this poll. Nick, who is our boys' team of the spring?
And your winner is Cape Henlopen baseball.
About that, 35% of the vote, and the top 3 teams only separated by 7%, Benny. So really close in that one.
Yeah, it was an amazing poll right there, and of course, Cape Hem Open, amazing season. Now we get to the singular awards. Talk about the teams. Go to the athletes. Girls Athlete of the Year for the spring got 4 nominees again from 3 different sports. So a variety here for Girls Athlete of the Year.
Let's see. This is who you had to choose from at home. Nikki Marcone of Caravel Softball. The junior had one of the best seasons we've seen here at 302 Sports. Hit for power, provided some top plays as well. Might see one of her home runs a little bit later. Keep an eye out for that. Has committed to UD and also plays pretty good defense behind the plate as a catcher. Move on to Ashley Brentlinger, Padua Soccer. 11 goals, 11 assists in the regular season, and was named Player of the Year in soccer. She'll be going to Florida Atlantic starting next fall. Kendra Schweitzer, St. Mark's Lacrosse, 83 goals and dished out 25 assists. Impressive numbers for her. She'll be playing at UD next year. By the way, Nick Hall, did you get those totals for your career? She did that in the season. Didn't know if you got that done or not. She'll be playing at UD next year, and we'll probably see her next season in the college updates as well. Elise Buonapane, I believe is how you say her name, DMA Soccer, was leading scorer for the Seahawks this year as they captured a D2 soccer title, 2 goals, 2 assists, in a 4-0 semifinal victory over Indian River.
A lot of talent there, Nick. 692 people chiming in and making their voices heard on this one. Who is our female spring athlete of the year?
Well, Benny, your award winner is Nikki Marcone, Caravel Softball.
How about her again? Another thing, top 3 votes decided by 11%. And Jason, you can attest, Nikki Marcone is a heck of a softball player, man.
Oh, absolutely. I saw her hit about 8 home runs in 4 games. I mean, she was just incredible. Has the power, and she's also one of the best defensive catchers I've seen in the state.
Yeah, Nikki Marcone certainly deserving of Female Athlete of the Year.
And I was just going to say, Jay, I remember we were there, did the game when she hit a home run with 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing in the infield. So.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, she's got the muscle to get that ball out of the ballpark. Speaking of out of the ballpark, 2 baseball players for Boys Athlete of the Year, 2 lacrosse players as well. We'll of course honor those who work the lacrosse sticks. Nikki Six with the sticks over there, running things.
Yeah, so here we go. Our Boys Athlete of the Spring nominees are Zach Galoff. We saw him in the fall.
Yep.
Athlete of the Year running. Cape Hen Open Baseball, won the state championship, was their ace pretty much throughout the year. Drafted by the Indians in the 38th round as well. You'll be seeing him at Virginia next year pitching. Brett Hobbs of Salesian Lacrosse is our second player. He was the Player of the Year. He scored twice in the championship game. 3 really good assists in that game as well. He'll be playing for Penn State next year, another Division I athlete. Joey Silan of Caravel Baseball was on the first team, all-state team for baseball. Was a solid on the mound, great 3-hole hitter for the Bucks. Also played center field when he wasn't on the mound. It just shows what kind of athlete he is. And then last but not least, our boy Meat, right? We know Mike Lang likes himself some meat. Demetrius Stevenson, CR Lacrosse. He had a great year for the Riders, led them into the state final game. One of the hardest shots in the game, requires frequent double teams from his opponents. Will be playing at Rutgers next year with that laser of a right-handed shot he's got.
Ton of people chiming in, 823 votes.
That
The
was the
largest
most, I
poll we
believe.
had. Do people like their meat?
We're about to find out, Benny, and your winner of the 302 Sports Fan Choice Award for Male Athlete of the Spring is Demetrius Stevenson, CR Lacrosse.
How about that? Meat getting it done, and we talked about it. That's a tough choice there, but Meat was the guy.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, those 2 lacrosse players are going to be playing against each other. One's
Same
going to Penn
conference.
State,
Yep.
one's going to Rutgers, both in the Big Ten. So good forward to watching them play for 4 more years.
Yeah, heartbreaking for Zach Geloff to get 2 nominations but not be able to pull off. But he certainly won't be have anything to cry home about.
Exactly.
Being drafted by the Cleveland Indians, a very
Going to
successful
Virginia,
baseball player there. So that is our awards we handed out here for the fall, winter, and spring. We'll do the same thing next year in 365 days. For now, we're going to take a brief break. When we come on, we're joined by
The
a couple
heads.
of faces, the
heads
heads of
of
302
this.
Sports,
Yep.
Benny Mitchell and Nick Halliday. It's coming up in 30 seconds on 302 Sports.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley. Cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lowes, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
And we're doing it live here on 302 Sports Weekly. Benny Pella, Pat Gariani's, of course, the owners of 302 Sports, the two heads of it, Nick Halliday and Benny Mitchell. He's a Benny when you level up. He gets a beard.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what happens when you level up. Guys, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for your support and all your hard work here at 302 Sports. Want to say that. But we got some news to talk about here. We'll start with you, Benny. A shift in wrestling.
Absolutely, and it's never a bad time to talk about wrestling here in the state of Delaware. Big move. Dover coach Aaron Harris has accepted the Smyrna job vacated by Kurt Howell's retirement. Aaron Harris, 3 years at Dover, 5-5, then he went 12-5 and 12-4 the past 2 seasons, twice reaching the state semifinals in wrestling from a program that had won 14 matches the 3 years before he got there.
Wow.
But the biggest thing I see in this is a Caesar Rodney alumni coaching the Smyrna Eagles in wrestling.
That's incredible, right? That
incredible, yeah. That never thought I'd see today.
That's big news in the wrestling world.
But a high-profile candidate nonetheless, and something that Smyrna will have to look forward to these next couple of years. And we look forward to your fireside chats as well.
All right, Christmas tree, yeah.
Absolutely.
They'll be coming in the fall.
We just talked about that. We might be switching that up.
That's right.
And of course, looking ahead to football in the fall, that's what everyone does over the summer. They get excited for football. We have an announcement to make about the Harvest Bowl.
Yeah, so we're always trying new things here, aren't we? I mean, and one of the things is that we put things together. We have a lot of people who help do these things, but one of the things that we want to really pump next year is coming is basically it's going to be 302 game day. Ooh. So we've already talked to a few of the ADs. We're going to be live. First game is Middletown at Smyrna. We're going to be live in the parking lot. We're going to try to get some Smyrna crazies out there, some fans. We already talked to the cheerleading coaches. And just make it fun, make a preview. It's going to be the next big step for us is taking it to each high school for the big games, and it's something big. So basically we're just going to be calling it 302 game day and going from there and making it a big production.
And we will be putting the mascot head on top of Jason. He doesn't know it yet, but Jay will be wearing the mascot head.
Jason's going to wear the mascot head. Nick Hall says he is now. So. But it's something that we've been kicking around the last couple of seasons. We've talked about it, and it's actually going to come to fruition this year, and we're going to be looking for it. So all you Smyrna fans, look for week 1 support. We're going to need you out there with some signs, some cowbells. I don't know if that's what we're going to use. Maybe the Middletown fans are going to come with cowbells, but it's going to be something new, and we're excited about it.
So that's where half of our week 1 will be. Benny, you control that bottom half, that downstate crew. Where are you guys going to be week 1?
At 11 Conference, we're doing 2 games. We're doing 2 kickoff games Friday night, and we're going to be visiting the other state champions, Delmar Wildcats, when Cape Henlopen comes to town. These 2 teams haven't played since 2008. Wow. And it's not that Henlopen North teams are afraid to play Delmar. It's the Henlopen Conference teams would be stupid to play Delmar. Right. It's the whole point system. But J.D. Maul only had 9 games. He's coming down. He's a new coach. And I think, watching football, a new coach, he'll win you 3 more games that you maybe shouldn't have won with the excitement of the new coach coming in. Right. And J.D. Maul, he's the junkyard dog of football here in Delaware. He'll play anybody, anywhere,
I
anytime.
like that matchup, though, Benny. I'm going to tell you, and it's nice to see a smaller school play a bigger school.
Sure.
And you get D2 versus D1. And like you said, it'd be stupid for them to do it points-wise and stuff, but look at what the show is going to bring. Look at what's going to – people are going to watch that game.
Yeah.
Delmar probably won't be the same as they were last year with some seniors coming out, but that team, and they produce football players down there. And as you can tell, they took a sweep here on
It's going to be in Delmar.
spring
and
sports.
If you've ever been to a Delmar football game,
They're awesome.
They're awesome. Cape's come. They got their freshman quarterback coming back in Sam Jones. Kenneth Witherspoon will be a senior. JoJo Kirby running back. Patrick Tack at linebacker. they return a balk to their offensive line, including 2 300-pound bookend tackles. So, it's going to be a neat first game. It's going to be interesting. But Del Mar, coming off that Division II state championship, they have a quarterback controversy. They had 3 different guys start at quarterback this year, and due to injuries, we got down to the freshman who wins the state title.
It's the freshman.
Yep. Zach Covington, junior tight end, and Mason Lilleber, the big man. The guy they have come back to the All-Stater, Tayshawn Denard. He scored 8 touchdowns in the semifinals.
8 touchdowns. How many?
8 touchdowns.
8. Let's make sure. 8.
Yes.
8 touchdowns.
So, I mean, it's going to be a ground game. J.D. Mall's going to bring the 2 tight ends in. He's going to try to milk as much clock as he can, and Tayshawn Denard's going to try to break him off tackle like he did all last year.
I'll tell you, and I said this, I think the only team that beats Del Mar last year are your world champ. Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. but then we're going to cover a second game that weekend.
It's got a unique story to it.
Yeah, I'm going to head up. We'll take the South crew up, and I think Nick's going to join me.
Yeah, we're going to join that day. We're going to do it together. We're going to make it another
dual.
It's not going to be as big as our game day, but it's going to be a dual crew, and we're going to do.
This is a big game. This is 2 playoff teams from last year. They return a lot. The Sussex Central Golden Knights travel to the Hodgson Silver Eagles. First game of the year. That was a 20-7 win last year by Sussex Central. And they got the house back.
That was a good game, and let me tell you, we were live there.
Yep.
A lot of turnovers from Hodgson. Young team then, though. We'll see what Moffitt can do with them this year.
Well, and Kurt Henry didn't come into the second half in that game.
Yeah, he was hurt. That's right.
Right, but they got they have Darius Hale back, the running back, and they're going to have Daniel Douglas, who I thought was a key 2-way player for them last year.
Hale is
They lose a lot. Nazir Billups, Jalik Hayward, Ray Matt, Vaughn Wood. He's going to kind of be rebuilding, but, I mean, he's got something to build around. Here's the thing. It's most interesting with Hodgson. Undefeated on the JV last year.
So they're bringing in a good group.
They're bringing in a good group.
Yeah.
Sussex Central, on the other hand, Isaac Barnes comes to the Barnes twins. Barnes the Barnes. Isaac Barnes, the quarterback. Isaiah Barnes, wide receiver, and 2 good running backs, Damon Hall and Zion Reed. They have talent at the skill position.
Yes, they do.
Sussex Central's problem is going to be replacing that linebacker core. They lose almost their entire linebacker core.
Yeah.
It's always fun to watch North versus South, too, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, Benny, sorry to cut you off, but that North versus South. But that's going to be a game to watch, believe me. And the reason we wanted to pump the first week is because there are new things coming next year. But we want to just start out with giving you the tease so that you got to wait all summer to wait for the first show in the fall to find out what's really going to be coming with some of the new things.
And that brings us to our final point.
One more thing. When we talk about these game days, we talked about the crazy Smyrna Milltown game. We've already decided what our 10th game is.
10th week.
What is that?
Del Mar
at Woodbridge.
Oh, wow.
We can get a little wild down
there. We'll be coming live to Del Mar, so Del Mar,
get
your fans and your people ready.
That game was our biggest viewed event on 302 Sports.
Probably besides
almost 5,000 people watched that game.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That is incredible. And, of course, we teased it a little bit. The first show next year is going to come in an interesting location, Nick. You want to go into that?
It is, Benny, and I don't want to say we're leaving, but we're going to be splitting our shows next year. We're going to be moving to Grottos, which seems like a pretty much already done deal. We're going to be doing both shows here from Hooters still, but we will be doing some different locations with Grottos because they're statewide, and then we can kind of connect more with the high schools. And what we're going to try to do is move our shows closer to those high schools. Like, so week 1 is Smyrna Middletown. Smyrna Grottos will get our first show for that. So we'll get more fans, more people to come in and help us with it. We'll have a little bit more, like I said, just more connection with the area and that school. And I think Grottos is going to be a big thing for us, especially when the shows that come. So we're not leaving Hooters. We're still going to stay at Hooters. But we are going to be switching locations for some of the shows and going to the Grottos, which, I think is a big deal, to tell you the truth. And I think it's going to bring, like I said, I think it's going to bring a lot more involvement of that area, that community, and that school to our shows, which is what we look for and we talked about in the beginning. So big news, and we're excited to say it.
We're taking it to the road. Thank you very much,
yes,
Nick
we are.
and Benny. And, of course, we'll get to the sponsors in a second. We want to round out, of course, we always do the top 5 plays of the week.
10.
Let's do the top 10 plays
Top
of
10.
the
Sorry.
The year. Benny, I'll get us started with number 10 here. As
Then are we ready?
Get it struck up. And number 10, it's going to be Zach Gwynn, connecting with DiNardo. Amazing scramble touchdown pass. We saw this earlier this year, and you can see him just all looking like Donovan McNabb against the Eagles back in like 2006.
Ooh, scramble.
Somehow finding him, and then nice key block there for the touchdown.
I hear Benny Pinella actually calling that game.
Yeah, he went nuts.
That game, yeah.
Michaelowicz tipped
play,
it over.
Nonetheless, as you saw
that
that
is
right
set
there.
back across
Number
the
9, Bernaya Ward-Mayo. She
gonna
was
be
nominated for
Stephanie,
a
and
winner,
Guido's there for it.
Female Athlete of the Year,
Set
and
up
doing
for
her thing
Lexi
right
Kelly.
here.
Dig by Matheny.
During the Diamond State Classic.
There's a tip.
No, this is the last game
Oh,
of the
can
season.
they get this? Oh, unbelievable! Unbelievable,
That's incredible.
Jason!
It was the game winner.
Oh,
Game winner there by Bernaya Ward-Mayo, putting it up and in as Conrad suffered their only in-state race of the year.
As we move through the top 10 plays here, William. This is from St. Thomas More, and it is one of the nastiest things you'll ever see. Watch this. Steps in the lane.
Give me that, son. In the
Poster coming to
slow-mo.
you.
Give me that. That went all over Twitter, man.
Yeah, pick that up at your latest sporting goods store.
That's it.
Number 7.
The amazing point by Archmere. Look at this save. And the point, this is volleyball action here. Mike Lang, Jason Winchell, all over this thing. I don't know much about volleyball, but I know what I'm watching is impressive. Right? Look at this thing. It's still going. Both teams
Little technical
refusing.
difficulties, but we're on. Keep going.
Are we on 7?
Yes.
Yes, we are. Look at this. Boom. Boom. Still alive.
Somehow this thing makes it back over.
Somehow, next week we'll have it done, and there it is.
Wow.
Impressive. Archmere with the point there.
I think I started growing facial hair from watching that video.
Yeah.
This is the dunk you want to
6,
see here.
Jamie Evans. This is a lot of fun. We like our dunks here. Oh.
We like our posters.
Shout out to One
Pick up
Journey.
yourself a mocha latte from Dunkin' Donuts on that one.
That's it. One Journey on the video there. Thanks for that one. Great dunk there by Evans. Unbelievable athleticism. Number 5, Akil Garrett. Look at this interception off the tip pass. This was, again, that Sally Smyrna game. Look at this thing. Gwynn trying to get it through there. Tipped in the air. Lands right in his lap.
Right in the breadbasket.
You literally couldn't ask for anything better. The hit was the key on that one.
We were live at that one.
I was on the call for that one.
Yes,
I thought
you
it was
were.
incomplete. I think I called it incomplete on the broadcast, but yeah, an amazing play right there. Number 4, Nikki Marcone, the female athlete of the spring. Watch this ball.
Dude, she hit that one down to Benny Mitchell's area.
Lord,
That thing landed in the other field.
Did you ever find that?
It landed in Lake Forest.
I had to pay postage to get it.
Get it shipped back.
Like I like to say, that thing had a stewardess and an in-flight movie on it.
There you go.
Here's
Bag
number
of peanuts. Logan Falconetti.
Look at this, the little lacrosse action here. Nick Hall didn't know what to say in this one because he saw that and was had no words for it. Behind the back, are you kidding me?
Watch this slow-mo.
Are you kidding me? He's at a complete loss for words right now. Boom.
Back,
Hey, that's
bounce
all-
pass.
That's only
Now
number
look at
2.
this one.
All
This
named
one
Reginald
made
Grinnell.
this one made ESPN top plays, Benny. Reginald
Shout out to
Grinnell.
One Journey.
One Journey on this. This thing was on SportsCenter, and you can see why. Woo! Are you kidding me?
You, my friend, got
Jacked up. Yes,
there
yes.
you go. And the number 1 play.
That's
Ouch.
incredible. Grinnell hurting.
It probably hurt. Number 1, Brandon
Sefacon.
Sefacon. There you go.
There you
I
go.
butchered that name, but we like to end on a hard note.
my.
And Sefacon's only 6 foot tall. Is an under the radar athlete. So when you see this, you're like, wait a second. He did what? That was impressive. Another postage. A lot of great years throughout. A lot of great plays throughout the year.
yeah.
It was very tough to come down with 10 of them, but we did. And
We
those
did.
are the 10.
Those are our top 10 plays of the year. I think my personal one would have to be the one from Salesian, the scrambling touchdown. That was amazing.
That's your,
I wonder
that was
why.
your call.
That
I
was
wonder
my
why,
call.
Ben.
It was a lot of fun
I wonder
there.
why.
Of course, we want to get a chance to thank our sponsors. Benny Mitchell, you start with the sponsors for 302 South.
Yeah, quite a few sponsors here, and we've picked up some more, and we'll talk about one in a minute. But first of all, our biggest sponsor and biggest supporter is Sodell Concepts down in the Rehoboth area, down to the whole, as he calls it, was it the Cuisine Coast? Or
Cuisine
I can't remember.
Coast.
I can't remember what he
Yeah, I
calls it.
can't remember either.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're
a new sponsor last year was Louis Pizza. I want to thank Tony Gubis. A funny thing I found out was, being a Rehoboth guy, and all these people that knew where Louis Pizza was upstate. Everybody knew where Louis Pizza was. This, I guess, is a drawing point for the Northerners, I guess we would say. Our field turf report at our football games, Todd Berger and Green Blade Irrigation and Turf Care. He's coming back this year, and we're going to add a little feature with his pregame sponsorship this year.
Can't wait.
Barclays Heating and Air, thanks to John and Ginger Barkley, big sponsor. They were our out-of-town scoreboard sponsors, allowing us to update people watching with the scores from the other games. And our new sponsor we had last year was Dream Scouting Network. Shannon Riley, thank you, Shannon Riley. He sponsored our players to watch each week with Dream Scouting Network. And one I've already signed up for this year, and I'm really excited about it. I know they're excited because they keep throwing their check, trying to get me their check for next year, and I'm like, we're going to get it. It's last year's barbecue. Now, I know a lot of people upstate travel down to Potnet's and the Long Neck area. You've got to go to Lasher's. I mean, I'm literally addicted to the pit beef sandwich.
Nice.
I like the sound of that.
And get there early. If they're open from 10 to 2, be there by noon because they have sold out every weekend. It's it's a little food trailer on the side of Long Neck Road, and it's great stuff. I got addicted at a football game. They do the Sussex football games, and it's the greatest. It's good stuff.
Nothing better than barbecue and a food truck there. Nick, of
true.
course, we have our sponsors up here for 302. We used to call them 302 Sports North.
Yeah, I mean, all of them are 302 Sports sponsors if you really look at it, and we appreciate what Benny does downstate with our crew down there. So, first off, thank you, Benny, for helping us spread the word down there and getting it to the slower lowers, as we call them.
That's right.
Yeah, I would like to thank a few people. First, of course, Gary and Nick from Hooters here of Newark, who have been, I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, they just pretty much let us do what we want. So the hospitality's been great. The people have been great here. Brian Italian at Brian's Loans with Pike Creek Mortgage, who's been with me from the beginning. Jason and John Gleaver at Unique Image. I can't thank those guys enough. They've been with us since the beginning. Brian Hadley from the Hadley Group. Again, been with us since the beginning. Some new ones that we got on now. Deb Jewell and Dover Federal Credit Union. We're reaching a little lower, aren't we? Benny, on that?
There's stuff below the canal.
Yes. And Reds Ferris at Ferris Home Improvement. And again, I can't be more thankful to these people because without that, we can't do what we do, and we can't bring to you guys what we want to bring to you guys. So if I can say anything, I just would ask to please support any of these businesses and use them for any of their professional products that you can, and support the 302. Not just 302 Sports, but I mean Delaware in general. We try to bring more light to the Delaware athletes. Let's bring more light to the Delaware businesses and support them as well. And I can't be more thankful to those people. But at the end of the day, people always say, what can we do, what can we do? And all I can say is support our sponsors. Mm-hmm. That would be the best thing for us. It helps all of us. It gets us these nice shirts, these nice cameras, and like I said,
Gets us to the games.
It helps gets us to the games, So if I can ask for anything, and I say it again, is please just support our sponsors. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
And Nick, when these businesses support 302 Sports, they support high school athletics. And and a lot of them see it that way. They don't really see it that they're supporting us. They see themselves as supporting high school athletes because we're now showcasing Delaware's talent.
Correct.
On all over. And real quick, my crew they never get up here, so we get to see the Northern guys. But I want to thank the people that worked with me all last year, and it's Avante Drummond through wrestling, Scott Kammerer, Dave Marvel, who does my stats for me in football. Dan Messina fills in, and losing Sean Brennan for next football season as he's going to go do dad duties, as he said, 2 girls playing college field hockey. So there's only so much he could do, and we're going to lose him for a few years while his daughters finish out their careers. And the biggest thanks I have is I got 2 people that will jump on that camera for me at any time, and that's my wife, Kristen Mitchell, and my son, Trey, who's actually become a pretty good cameraman.
Yeah.
But he does all our football coverage downstate.
We turned Len into a cameraman.
Hey.
And if you can do that, ladies and gentlemen, you can do anything.
I would also like to say thank you to this crew that helps every week. 34 weeks of great shows. I honestly couldn't ask for better people, so thank you so much.
Yeah, it was certainly a fun year.
It was awesome, wasn't it?
Oh my God, it was a lot of fun. We'll see you in the fall when we come back with so much more here on 302 Sports. Of course, when you support these sponsors, when you support us, you are supporting Delaware. 302 out for the summer. We'll see you in the fall.
34 weeks, dude. Can you imagine that?